Good morning, everybody. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA. I'm Dominic Damiano, finally back in studio. We have the sports master, Justin Ferrer, who's just about wide awake. Catherine Conley, and our main intern on the board today, Joe. Did everybody have a good Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Yes, we sure did.
You did. Well, if you followed us on Twitter and Facebook, I want to apologize because I dropped the ball. I should have posted this early. We're going to run down a final rundown of the fall sports here in 2022 season. But wasn't that cool how you got tested right away? I wasn't expecting the music to kick on like that because that's usually dead in. Isn't that neat? So now you know. All right, so we got our music squared away. We're going to start with, I almost said Gales. I sound like my grandfather.
No, field hockey.
Field hockey.
Field hockey.
Field hockey. There are 34 teams that made it. We're going to dive into the Sweet 16, get everyone caught up on the final results. Right now, Hull is playing in the Division 8 Super Bowl, and we're going to try to get you results of that as well. Last night, Duxbury won, along with Boylston. They won Division 7. Congratulations to those schools winning the high school football. We'll recap that in the second hour. If you want to call in, 508-2221, 508-222-1320. We'll kick up the music, and with that being said, here is the sports master. Again, 34 teams made it in Division 1. We'd like to congratulate them all, and here's a sports master doing what he does best.
Okay, we have Walpole, Andover, Shrewsbury, Winchester Regional, Franklin, Chelmsford, Bishop Fenn, Winchester, Hingham, Natick, Braintree, Nedham, Belmont, Central Catholic, Action Boxborough, Concord, Carsley, Lincoln Shrewsbury, Wesley, Dorothy Memorial, Arlington, Algonquin, Lexington, King Philip Regional, Beverly, Westford Academy, North Andover, Brookline, Barnstable, Durfee, Marshfield, Newton North, Attleboro, Manthew, and New Bedford.
All right, so here they are. Great job, young man. And here we're going to dive right into Sweet 16. Here are your results. In the Sweet 16, it was Walpole over conquered Carlisle 2-0. Winchester beat Hingham 1-0. It was Wachusett, sorry, I almost butchered that, over Belmont. They blanked them 4-0. Franklin beats Needham 5-0. Other Sweet 16 results, it was Chelmsford over Lexington 3-1. Shrewsbury in overtime over Doherty 2-1. Other results, King Philip in overtime, they beat Bishop Fenn 3-2. And Andover beats Acting Boxborough 4-0. In the Elite Eight,
It was 4-3 in overtime. King Philip, Bishop Fenn.
4-3, what'd I say?
You said 3-2.
Thank you. That's why you're there. All right, moving on. Andover over Acting Boxborough 4-0. I'm gonna claim that I'm out of practice. All right, Elite Eight. It was Andover King Philip 4-1. Shrewsbury over Chelmsford 1-0. Wachusett beats Franklin 2-1. And Walpole beats Winchester 4-0. In the Final Four in Division 1 girls field hockey, Andover beats Shrewsbury 2-1, and Walpole beats Wachusett 5-1. And in the state tournament, your 2000 Division 1 field hockey girls champions, Andover beats Walpole 1-0, and that is Division 1. And we'll go right over to Division 2, and here is the Sportsmaster.
Okay.
You ready, old man?
Yep. I was just making sure I was in the right one. Okay, we have Masconomet Regional, Nashaba Regional, Reading Memorial, Longmeadow, Lomester, Dansford, Falmouth, Minchung, Westwood, Canton, Somerset Berkeley Regional, Bishop Fenwick, Hopkinton, Oliver Ames, Milton, Agawam, Scituate, North Attleboro, Plymouth North, Nauset Regional, Dartmouth, Westfield, Norwood, Marlborough, Wakefield Memorial, Westboro, Notre Dame Hingham, Mansfield, Marblehead, Silver Lake Regional, Holliston, Tosbrook Memorial, Fitchburg, and Northrepton.
All right, so Catherine, KC, you get the Sweet 16.
All right, so in the round of 16, we have Masconomet beating Scituate with the score of 3-1. We have Westwood beating Minnechaug 1-0 in overtime. Longmeadow beats Hopkinton with the score of 3-0. And Leominster beats Bishop Fenwick with the score of 1-0. And to the other side of round of 16, we have Nashua Regional taking the win over Milton with the score of 3-0. And Falmouth. Wait a minute.
You're right. Falmouth and playing Canton, and the results are.
Falmouth and Canton. I was looking at the round of
That's
8.
fine.
So Falmouth beats Canton with the score of 2-1, and Oliver Ames loses to Reading with the score of 1-0, and Danvers beats Somerset Berkeley with the score of 1-0, and in the round of 8, Reading. Danvers beats Reading 2-1. Longmeadow beats Leominster 4-0. Masconomet beats Westwood 4-0. And Nashua Regional beats Falmouth 1-0. And in the in the state semifinals, Masconomet loses to Longmeadow 2-1, and Nashua Regional takes the win over Danvers 2-0. And in the state semifinals, Longmeadow takes the championship win over Nashua Regional with the score of 2-1.
All right, very good. So there you go.
It was actually confusing.
You got to get used to it, Ann. You're out of practice. We only do it every, 4 months or whatever?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to step away our first break. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station. 1320 AM WARA, giving you a recap of the fall bracket sports. We'll be back with more right after this. Turn them on. Yep. Now slowly fade out. Hey, welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk. You are listening to our coverage of the 2022 fall sports and a little bit of training going on, but he's doing a great job. So if you want to call him 508-222-1320. I actually got the number confused last time. So right now we are going to go into Division 2, and Joe's going to help out.
We already did Division 2.
Division 3.
We did. We're on 3, yep.
You guys love correcting me, huh? You love picking on old men. I see what's going on here. All right, with that being said, we will go right into, get the music fired up, young man. We're going to go right into Division 3. Here's the field of 37.
Okay, here we go. Watertown, Sandwich,
Pretty good.
Gloucester, Dover, Sherborne, Foxborough, Newburyport, Swampscott, Oakmount Regional, Triton Regional, Hanover, Quabbin Regional, Notre Dame, Worcester, North Reading, Medfield, Midway, Ashland, Dennis Yarmouth, Pentucket Regional, Wintertown, Denham, East Longmeadow, Weston, Auburn, Bishop Stang, North Middlesex Regional, Wayland, Dighton Rehoboth, Stoneham, Middleborough, Wilmington, Sturgis Carter East, Hudson, Norwell, Old Rochester Regional, East Bridgewater, Montachusett, RVT, and St. Paul Discotian. Yeah, I butchered that.
That's all right, old man. You still do a great job. And Joe's going to give you the results from the Sweet 16.
All right. So for the Sweet 16 for the Field Hockey Division III State Tournament, we have Watertown defeating Ashland by a score of 7-0. We had who is up next? Triton defeating, I think that's Triton defeated Oakmont. Yeah, by a score of 1-0. We have Dover Sherborne defeating North Reading by a score of 2-0. And we have Foxborough defeating Notre Dame by a score of 6-1. On the other side, we have Sandwich defeating Medway by a score of 5-0. We had Swampscott defeating Hanover by a close score of 2-1. We have Gloucester defeating Medfield by a score of 2-1. And then we have Newburyport defeating Weston by a score of 3-1. That was for your Sweet 16. And then down to the round of 8, we had Watertown defeating Triton by a score of 5-0. We had Dover Sherborne defeating Foxborough by a score of 1-0. We had Newburyport defeating Gloucester by a score of 1-0. And we had Sandwich defeating Swampscott, shutting them out by a score of 4-0. That is for Division 3 for your round of 8. And then your final 4 state semifinals. Watertown defeating Dover Sherborne by a score of 6-0. And Sandwich defeating Newburyport in a close game by a score of 1-0. And in your state final, Watertown defeating Sandwich by a score of 2-0.
Great job, old man. All right, moving on to Division 4. This time the field is 32, and with that, here is the Sportsmaster for Division 4 field hockey.
Okay, we have Enochbridge, Manchester, Essex, Cohasset, Monomoy, Lenfield, Joseph Case, Lindenberg, Frontier Regional, Greenfield, Ipswich, St. Mary's, Pontier Valley Regional, Georgetown, Sutton, Blackstone Valley, RVT, Franklin County, Tech, Nantucket, Hopendale, St. John Paul II, Hamilton, Wenham, Littleton, Clinton, West Bridgewater, Carver, Lone Sear, Quatabog Regional, North Brookfield, Tohoto Regional, Amesbury, Hampshire Regional, Northbridge, and Westport.
Excellent job. Round of 16. It was Uxbridge over Nantucket, 9-0. Frontier Regional beats Greenfield, 2-0. Monomoy beats Georgetown, 7-1. Linfield beats Pioneer Valley Regional, 2-1. Other results from the Sweet 16. It was Manchester, Essex, and Blackstone Valley. Manchester, Essex takes that, 7-0. Lundberg beats Ipswich, 2-1. Cohasset beats Sutton, 5-2. St. Joseph Case, they beat St. Mary's of Lynn 2-1 in overtime. In the Elite Eight, it was Cohasset over St. Joseph Case 2-0, and Manchester Essex over Lindbergh 1-0. More Elite 8 action. It was Uxbridge over Frontier Regional 5-0. Monomoy over Linfield 2-0. Semifinals. Uxbridge, they beat in 2 overtimes Monomoy 3-2, and in 3 overtimes it was Manchester Essex 2-1 over Cohasset. And in your Division 4 field hockey state championship game, it was Uxbridge taking it to Manchester Essex 5-0.
Oh, we got a call.
And right there we got a call, so we can lower our music a little bit. There we go. Hold that spot. There we go, and there we go. And yep, and take the call. And you are first on 4D Sports Talk.
Dominic Damiano.
Yes, ma'am. Sir, how are you?
Good, how are you?
How's it going, young man?
Oh, living the dream.
That's good. How's it? You're done with this is Brady, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. So you finished up with the NASCAR over in Seekonk. That must have been fun.
Yeah, my racing season was over in September and through the months of October, or actually to round out September, October, November, I was able to see some Rhode Island area football
Nice.
and soccer, but I wanted to touch upon the other team I saw this fall that was I called Case Field Hockey. And they were that unit so fun to watch. You pointed out that the 2-1 win against St. Mary's. I don't know a lot about field hockey. That's the best game I think I've ever seen. 2 goals in, you want to combine overtime and regulation, 2 goals in about 8 minutes. That was a really, really fun tournament as well. There was upsets all over the place too. And even just for Case and I know you'll get to volleyball soon. A really, really good year in terms of women's athletics, with field hockey making the Elite 8, volleyball making the state championship, went up 2-0, ended up dropping the final 3, which is a really strong season all around.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that must have been fun to call.
It was, but I think it was even more fun to watch as a fan, and for you guys, I want to give a shout out to Catherine and Justin. I hope you all are well.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks, Brady. How you doing?
Good. Not even just to call it, right? Just to sit back and watch it as a fan. I think was the biggest takeaway more than anything, because with other high profile teams at the school are struggling a little bit. It's really cool to have a Case team who I think was seeded really low to begin with as a 6. To be an underdog kind of and power their way through to the Elite 8, and we know how good Cohasset is. I feel like they're in the Final Four every single year. It was just a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, that's true about Cohasset. That and football. And sometimes baseball. They've been known to poke their head around the South Shore League and, compete out of that small Sullivan division over there and that side of the state, Well, no, I shouldn't say it's not that far away. It's up 20 minutes, 40 minutes up the road.
In about 40 minutes from me.
Right. Well, I appreciate the call, young man. You're a good guy.
I appreciate it. Hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. And that was Brody. That was
Brady.
Brady Kudo, who takes care of, like I said, his season finished in September. He does a great job with all the local racing over at Seekonk Speedway. We actually had him in, and we did a recap of the season. So how we doing? Are we close to a break yet? No?
We have about 3 minutes left.
All right, so with that being said, let's dive into, let's go right into volleyball. Let's go division, we'll go right into Division 1.
Oh, volleyball's all the way at the bottom. Next is football.
Yeah, but we'll save football for the second hour.
Okay.
So with that being said, there are 34 teams that made it, and here is the Sportsmaster to let you know who made it.
Okay.
We're starting the round of 16 after?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. We have Newtown North, Lincoln Sudbury, Newtown South, Franklin, Barnstable, Andover, Attleboro, Methuen, Winchester, Needham, Harvard Shrewsbury, Action, Boxborough, Allegheny, Natick, Peabody, Veterans, Concord, Corliss, Bishop Fenn, Wesley, Massachusetts Regional, Hingham, Chelmsford, Boston Latin, Brookline, North Andover, Westford Academy, Quincy, Belmont, Beverly, Medford, Lexington, Lowell, Springfield Central, and Malden.
Very good. So I think it's your turn, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And I got to step off and get my charger on my car because my phone's about to die.
Oh.
So you guys know what you're doing. I'll be right back.
Keep
Okay.
going. All right, we'll keep going.
Okay,
All right, so we have a minute 20 just to keep an eye on it.
All
okay.
right. And then we just hold this spot and we'll go right into a break.
Perfect.
Once we finish this division.
So the round of 16 in Division 1, we have Newton North beating Concord Carlisle with the score of 3-0. And Winchester beats Methuen with the score of 3-0. And Franklin beating Acton Boxborough with a score of 3-1. And Barnstable beating Shrewsbury with a score of 3-0. And sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not butchering the teams that won or lost. Okay, so Lincoln Sudbury beats Natick with a score of 3-0. Attleboro beats Needham with a score of 3-2. And Newton South beats Algonquin with a score of 3-1. And Andover beats Haverhill with a score of 3-2.
Perfect.
Are we going on to our break yet?
Yeah, we're going to go into our next break. You're listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk. Please give us a call. Thank you.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk here at 1320 AM WARA. We are continuing highlighting the girls volleyball Division 1, and we're going to continue on to the round of 8. Alright, so continue on to the round of 8. We have Newton South beating Andover with a score of 3-1. And Franklin loses to Barnstable with a score of 3-2. And Newton North beats Winchester with a score of 3-0. And Lincoln Sudbury beats Attleboro with the score of 3-1. And in the final four, we have Lincoln Sudbury beating Newton South with the score of 3-2. And Newton North beats Barnstable with the score of 3-1. And in the state finals, we have Newton North taking the championship over Lincoln Sudbury with the score of 3-1.
Yay, a South Shore team won. Yay.
That would have been actually really interesting if Newton South had won. It would have been Newton North versus Newton South.
That would have been
Battle
pretty
of
cool.
Newton.
All right, so we move on to Division 2. And in volleyball, make sure you're saying it right, Don. We told the guys volleyball. All of us at 4 Deep Sports Talk and WARA would like to, before I forget, would like to congratulate all these teams. And doing the honors, like every year, is none other than the sports master himself, Justin Ferreira.
Yay, me. All right, we have Westboro, King Philip Regional, Duxbury, Dartmouth, Oliver Ames, Melrose, Westwood, Longmeadow, North Quincy, Woburn Memorial, Billerica Memorial, Masconomet Regional, Canton, Amherst Hillham Regional, Marblehead, Burlington, Milton, Nashville Regional, Revere, Hawkinton, Milford, Plymouth South, Reading Memorial, West Springwater, Agawam, Plymouth
West
North.
Springfield.
Keep on going.
Yeah, okay. Plymouth North, Staunton, Mansfield, William Henson Regional, Denver's, Notre
Dame. Yep.
Hingham,
Yep.
Westfield, Scituate, Laloe, Somerset Brinkley Regional, Grafton, Chesterlet, and Holyoke.
All right, so here's a Sweet 16. Here's Joe to give you the recap again as we dive right into the Sweet 16.
All right, so the Sweet 16 for the girls volleyball Division 2 state championship. We have Westboro defeating Milton by a score of 3-0. We have North Quincy, who defeated Longmeadow by a score of 3-1. And then down below, we had Dartmouth taking the victory over Canton by a score of 3-0. And we had Masconomet defeating Mansfield by a score of 3-1. On the other side of this Sweet 16, we had Melrose defeating Billerica by a score of 3-1. We had the winner of this one was, I believe it was Duxbury. Yeah, Duxbury defeating.
It can get to you, can't it? The way they laid out.
Duxbury defeating Amherst Pelham by a score of 3-0. We have Westwood defeating Woburn by a score of 3-0. And King Philip defeating Neshoba by a score of 3-0. And then down to the round of 8, we had Westboro defeating North Quincy by a score of 3-0. And we had Dartmouth defeating Masconomet. Dartmouth defeating Masconomet by a score of 3-0. Melrose defeating Duxbury 3-1. And then we had King Philip defeating Westwood 3-0. To our final four, it was King Philip was the victor over Melrose by a score of 3-0. And same score for the other game, we had Westboro defeating Dartmouth 3-0. And the state final, Westboro defeating King Philip by a score of, you guessed it, 3-0.
And there you go. So we'll dive right in. The music's already fired up. With that being said, we will go into Division 3. of girls volleyball. Again, congratulations to the following 38 teams.
Okay. Got Dennis Yarmouth, Tewksbury Memorial, Newburyport, Norton, Old Rochester Regional, Ashland, Cardinal Spellman, Medfield, Fairhaven, East Longmeadow, Greater New Bedford, Bedford, Hudson, Foxborough, Wayland, Groton, Dunstable, Essex, North Shore, Holliston, Greater Lowell Tech, North Reading, Panamo Tech, Triton Regional, New Mission, Dighton Rehoboth, Archbishop Williams, Bletchertown, Pembroke, Apponequet Regional, North Middlesex Regional, Bishop Fenwick, Swampscott, Diamond RVT, HS of Commerce, Montague RVT, Oviant, Burncoat, East Boston, and St. Paul Dicing.
All right, so here we go. As we go right back into this, Sweet 16. Here are your results. Again, Division III girls volleyball. Dennis Yarmouth over Groton Dunstable, 3-0. Medfield over Dighton Rehoboth, 3-0. Norton over Hudson, 3-1. Old Rochester over Medford, 3-1. Ashland over Greater New Bedford Voke, 3-1. Newburyport over Foxborough, 3-0. It was Cardinal Spellman over East Longmeadow, 3-0. And Tewksbury over Wayland, 3-0. In the Elite Eight, it was Dennis Yarmouth over Medfield, 3-0. Old Rochester over Norton, 3-1. It was Newburyport over Ashland, 3-0. In the final Elite game, it was Tewksbury over Cardinal Spellman, 3-0. In
Tewksbury and Newburyport.
Tewksbury and Newburyport, that's what I said, right? I got one
You
confused.
said Cardinal Spellman.
Thank you.
It's hard to read these brackets.
Yeah, it is, but I should be doing along. I should be doing better. So I'll finish it again. Sweet 16. Cardinal Spellman over East Longmeadow, 3-0. Tewksbury over Wayland, 3-0. In the Elite Eight, Tewksbury over Cardinal Spellman, 3-0. In Newburyport over Ashland, 3-0. In the Final Four, Dennis Yarmouth beats Old Rochester, 3-0. And Tewksbury beats Newburyport, 3-0. In your Division III state championship game in girls volleyball, congratulations to Tewksbury. They beat Dennis Yarmouth 3-0. That is Division III. We move on to Division IV. And again, this time 37 teams. All of us at WARA and 4 Deep Sports Talk would like to congratulate all these 37 different schools. And again, here is the Sports Master.
Okay, we have IP Switch, Linfield, Joseph Capes, Nipmunk Regional, Weston, Ursuline Academy, Nantucket, Medway, Wauchona Regional, Blackstone Valley RVT, Hamilton, Wenham, Abington Catholic, Norwell, Sandwich, Rockland, Advanced Math and Science, Lowell Catholic, Shawnseen Valley Tech, Woodward RVT, South Lancaster Academy, Bellingham, Abington, Middle Catholic, East Bridgewater, Monument Mountain, Azabeth Valley RVT, Greater Lawrence Tech, Southbridge, Notre Dame Worcester, Bay Path RVT, Northeastern Metro RVT, Stoneham, Snowden International, South Shore Christian Tech, Boston Academy, Charleston, Roxbury Prep, Carter.
All right, there she is. She's ready to go, a.k.a. KC. Here is your Sweet 16 in Division 4 girls volleyball.
All right, so here's the Sweet 16. We have Ipswich beating Advanced Math and Science with the score of 3-1, and Medway beating Wacona Regional with the score of 3-2, and Nipmuc beating Norwell 3-0, and Arlington Catholic loses to Weston with a score of 3-0. And on the other side of the Sweet 16, we have Linfield beating Rockland with a score of 3-0, and Nantucket beating Blackstone Valley with a score of 3-1, and Joseph Case beating Sandwich 3-0, and Ursuline Academy beating Hamilton Wenham with a score of 3-0. And in the round of 8, we have Ipswich beating Medway 3-1, and Linfield beating Nantucket with a score of 3-0, and Weston beating Nipmuc with a score of 3-2, and Joseph Case beating Ursuline Academy 3-0. And to the final 4, we have Ipswich beating Weston with a score of 3-0, and Joseph Case beating Linfield with a score of 3-0. And Ipswich taking the state championship, excuse me, against Joseph Case with the score of 3-2.
Great job. Moving on to Division 5, and let me know if you want to break from this. 44 teams qualified for the Division
I'm gonna
4.
need a big sick of water after this.
44, wow.
We're ready for a break.
How much?
Ready for a break.
Ready for a break? All right, so this is what we'll do. We will step away. Thank you, Joe. We'll step away. We'll come back with Division 5 girls volleyball. The gang is all here. I forgot to say Luce Cabral is not feeling well. Hopefully she'll be back next week. We're going to try to get some of these other youth football champions and cheerleader champions, maybe high school football champions in next week. We got a 2-hour special. We'll be back with more as we wrap up the fall bracket schedule here in high school football. Hey, everybody, welcome back to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station. Hour 1 of our wrap-up of fall sports. Joe's on the board. Catherine Conley, a.k.a. KC, she's ready to get in the batter's box to take the fastball and get going. Of course, none other than the sports master himself, who does the best job in the state, letting everybody know who qualified in any bracket, on any day, in any season. So with that being said, we're going to dive into Division 5 and wrap up the volleyball season, let you know how it played out. Joe will follow up with the brackets, but first, here is the sports master.
All right, we've got Frontier Regional, Hopedale, Mount Greylock Regional, Turners Falls, Pilrow, Ferrier, S.J. Carter, East Hampton, West Bridgewater, Douglas, Lee, Taconic, Millis, Bourne, Wittsville Christian, St. John and Paul II, Southwick Regional, Mulberry, South Shore Voc Tech, Innovate Academy Carter, Blackstone Millville, Tri-County RVT, Sutton, Fellowship Christian Academy, Georgetown, Franklin Country Tech, Mohawk Tri-Regional, Westport, Sturgis Charter East, Lennox Memorial, Cape Cod RVT, Norfolk County Agriculture, Springfield and Hill Charter, Wareham, Pioneer Valley Christian, Hallbrook, Oxford, Mount Alvernia, Bristol County Agricultura, KIP Academy Lincoln, Cathedral, Pioneer Charters II, Atigun, Prospect Hill Academy Charter, Burke, and Exil.
You only had 20 of them, but you did a pretty good job. 44 schools. Are you kidding me? All right, so I believe, Joe, you're up, right?
That is correct. So in the round 16 for the MIA 22 Volleyball Girls Division 5 State Tournament, we had Frontier Regional defeating South Shore Voc Tech by a score of 3-0. We had we have issues trying to find who are the winners of these games.
There's a lot of brackets.
So I believe so Douglas defeated Lee by a score of 3-1, and we had Bourne defeating Paulo Freire by a score Paulo Freire defeating Bourne by a score of 3-0, and we had Turner's Falls defeating Wittenville's Christian by a score of 3-0. On the other side, we had Hopedale defeating Southwick Regional by a score of 3-0. We had Mount Greylock defeating Blackstone Millville by a score of 3-0. We have Millis defeating East Hampton by a score of 3-0. And we have West Bridgewater defeating Georgetown by a score of 3-0 as well. Down to our round 8, we had Hopedale was the victor over West Bridgewater 3-0. We had Frontier Regional defeating Douglas by a score of 3-0. Turner's Falls losing to Paulo Freire, who were the victors, by a score of 3-1. We have Mount Greylock defeating Millis by a score of 3-2. Down to our round final 4, we had Frontier Regional defeating Paulo Freire 3-2, and Hopedale losing to Mount Greylock, who were the victors, 3-1. And your Division 5 girls volleyball state champions, Frontier Regional, defeating Mount Greylock 3-0. Congratulations, ladies.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to Division 1 girls soccer. We talked about that at the break. And again, all of us at For Deep Sports Talk and WARA, we would like to congratulate the 41 teams that qualified in Division 1 girls soccer. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the Sportsmaster.
Okay, we have Acton, Boxborough, Hingham, Bishop Fian, Alaguin, Newton South, Natick, Brookline, Franklin, Wesley, King Philip Regional, Needham, Winchester, Framingham, Lexington, Arlington, Lincoln, Sudbury, Concord, Carsley, Shrewsbury, Hawkinton, Andover, Methuen, Weymouth, Beverly, Marshfield, Belmont, Woburn Memorial, Winchester Regional, Braintree, Peabody Veterans, Wellingham, Attleboro, Newton North, Central Catholic, Bridgewater Raynham, North Andover, Durfee, Delhiry Memorial, Lynn Classical, Medford, Brockton, and Springfield Central.
Very good. Okay, field of 16. It was Lincoln Sudbury over Newton North 1-0. Wellesley over Franklin 2-1. Algonquin over Framingham 1-0. The Methuen game and the Newton South game, they did not post a score. Kudos to the MIAA again. Not really, but anyway, moving right along. Natick over Needham 1-0. Bishop Fien over, Hopkinton 2-0. It was King Philip over Brookline over King Philip 4-2. Hingham over Shrewsbury 6-0. Elite 8. It was Hingham over Brookline 3-2. And Bishop Fien over Natick 2-1. Algonquin, they move on to the Final Four with out of the Elite 8 beating Newton South 3-0 in a 3-0 set. And it was, Wellesley beating Lincoln Sudbury 3-2. In the Final Four in overtime, if I'm saying this right, how come that, it does look right, I'm sorry. Algonquin beats Wellesley 2-1 in overtime, and Hingham on a penalty kick, they beat Bishop Fien 2-1. I bet that was the best game of the night right there out of that bracket, right?
Kick.
And congratulations to the Lady Harbor women. They beat Algonquin 1-0. So that is Division 1. We move on to Division 2 in girls soccer. I'll be honest with you. For a minute, I got caught up and I almost used a volleyball analogy, and I caught myself. All right, again, 45 teams made it Division 2, and here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Division 2 girls soccer.
Yeah, we have Oliver Ames, Masconomet Regional, Minichunga, Notre Dame Hingham, Grafton, Mansfield, Westboro, Duxbury, Canton, Silver Lake Regional, Longmeadow, Danvers, Medfield, Plymouth North, East Longmeadow, Staunton, Marblehead, Melrose, Billerica Memorial, Nashua Memorial, Wilmington, Nauset Regional, West Springfield, Scituate, Westwood, Holliston, Walpole, Wayland, Wilmington Regional, Sharon, Burlington, Ludlow, Leominster, Dartmouth, Pembroke, Archimedes, Pelham Regional, North Middlesex Regional, Marlborough, Dartmouth, Northampton, Falmouth, South High Community, Somerset Berkeley Regional, HS of Camiris, and Somerville.
Very cool. And here she is, the myth, the legend herself, the flag football MVP of her team, a.k.a., Catherine, a.k.a. KC. Here are the Sweet 16 results.
All right, so Sweet 16, we have Oliver Ames beating Stoughton with a score of 3-0. And Duxbury beats Canton with a score of 3-2. And Notre Dame Hingham beats Medfield with a score of 5-1. And Grafton beating Danvers with a score of 6-1. And on the other side of round of 16, we have Masconomet Regional beating Melrose 4-1. And Silver Lake Regional beating Holliston with a score of 2-1. Minichog beating Plymouth North 2-0. And Mansfield beating Longmeadow with the score of 3-2 on a penalty kick. And in the round of 8, we have Notre Dame Hingham beating Grafton with a score of 3-2 on a penalty kick. And Oliver Ames beating Duxbury with a score of 1-0. And Silver Lake Regional beating Musconetwood Regional with the score of 3-1. And Minnechaug beating Mansfield with a score of 2-1 in overtime. And in the final 4, we have Oliver Ames beating Grafton with a score of 1-0 in overtime. And Silver Lake Regional beating Minnechaug with a score of 1-0. And in the state finals, Silver Lake Regional beating Oliver Ames with a score of 1-0 in the championship.
All right, very good. I'm sorry, I got cut off beat. I got cut off track. How are we doing for time?
25 seconds.
25 seconds at the top of the hour?
Yep.
All right, so we'll lower our music. We'll set that up for the second hour. See, aren't you glad that I actually thought about this and we actually did 2 hours? You can't stay for the second hour?
No, I can't.
Oh, man. All right, so we lose the sports master. Are you going to be listening?
I'll just talk to Dad. He's out right now in the car. I'll see if he can get the station on.
All right, we're gonna take the top of the hour break. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk. Please don't go away. We'll be back. We're gonna finish up soccer. We're gonna girls soccer. We're gonna start boys soccer and finish up with high school football. Get you some results from last night. We'll be back with more right after this.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to 40 Sports Talk. Here on the, can you hear me?
Yeah, on this one I can't hear it on this one.
Oh,
That's interesting.
yeah, that's weird.
We'll figure it out.
All right, so we are here on the second half of the hour of our 2-hour special. So,
2-hour special.
yep.
It's a rainy day out there today, but we thought we might as well just get some what's the word I'm looking for? Coverage
Yeah.
for our fall sports for high school for both men's and boys and girls for high school. So we were covering divisions 1 and 2 for soccer, for girls soccer, and we will start now with Division 3.
All right, so I'll get the music fired up.
Just starting Division 3.
Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, that's okay. All right, so I'll get the music going. All right.
All right, so whose turn is it?
I can do Division 3.
All right, you got it.
So in Division 3, the bracket notes. So 43 teams. So we had South Hadley, Newburyport, Stoneham, Hanover, Nipmuc Regional, Belchertown. Did we already do Division 3?
Yes.
Oh, we did do Division 3. All right,
So I'm sorry, Division
Oh.
4.
Division 4.
Division 4. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Division
I
four.
thought we already did Division 3.
We
I
did.
Yeah,
mean,
so we had
did we
sorry.
do Division 3?
We did.
So Division 4.
As we all get tongue-tied at the same time. All right, so you ready?
Yeah, I'll do Division 4.
Here we go.
So bracket notes. So we have Cohasset, Northbridge, Littleton, Hampshire Regional, Hamilton Wenham, Millbury, Manchester Essex, West Bridgewater, Blackstone Valley RVT, Uxbridge, Pope Francis, Wacona Regional, Notre Dame, Monument Mountain, Leicester, Lunenburg, Southwick Regional, East Hampton, Clinton, Ipswich, Malden Catholic, Mashpee, St. Mary Parish of Westfield, Arlington Catholic, Whittier RVT, Tingsboro, Baypath RVT, Sturgis Carter West, Blackstone Millville, Monomoy, Assabet Valley RVT, Amesbury, East Boston, Nantucket, Cape Cod Academy, Tri-County RVT, and Trivium School. So 37 teams in for girls soccer Division 4 state tournament. For the round of 16, we had Cohasset defeating Lunenburg by a score of 7-0. And we had Blackstone Valley defeating West Bridgewater 4-3 in overtime. We had Hampshire Regional defeating Ipswich by a score of 4-1. And we had Hamilton Wenham defeating Wacona Regional by a score of 2-1. We had Northbridge defeating Leicester by a score of 5-0. And we had Manchester Essex defeating Uxbridge by a score of 5-2. We had Littleton defeating Monument Mountain by a score of 3-2. And Millbury defeating Pope Francis by a score of 1-0. For our round of 8, we had Cohasset defeating Blackstone Valley by a score of 4-1. We had Northbridge defeating Manchester Essex 4-0. We had Littleton defeating Millbury 3-0. And we had Hampshire Regional defeating Hamilton Wenham 1-0. So down to our final 4. Cohasset were the victors over Hampshire Regional 3-1. And Northbridge defeating Littleton 2-1. And your state final champions for girls Division 4 soccer was Cohasset defeating Northbridge 2-0.
Very cool. Very, very cool. All right, moving on to Division 5. Is it my turn? Because we rotated seats, or is it your turn?
I think it's my turn.
All right, so here's
Division
Captain. Is that right? So we are doing it right?
Yeah.
All right, so here she is with Division 5 girls soccer.
All right, so here's Division 5 with 47 teams who are about to be mentioned for our congratulations for making it to the playoffs. So Monson, Sutton, Tejada Regional, Douglas, Whittinsville Christian, Georgetown, Gardner, Mount Greylock Regional, Hull, David Prouty, Quabog Regional, Palmer, Broomfield School, St. John Paul II, Maynard, Millis, Lennox Memorial, Mystic Valley Regional Charter, Blue Hills RVT, Smith Academy, Drury, Oxford, Granby, Frontier Regional, Carver, Nashua Valley Tech, West Boylston, Holbrook, Hopkins Academy, Hopedale, Norfolk County Agriculture, Minuteman Regional, Parker Charter, Mount Everett Regional, Smith Voc Tech, St. Joseph Prep, McCann Tech, Avon, Franklin County Tech. Oh, stupid ad.
So we need to go back to the other one, because that's continuous.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's go to that one. Atta girl.
Where was I?
I have no idea.
I think you were at Holbrook.
Holbrook, yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, so Hopkins Academy, Hopedale, Norfolk County Agricultural, Minuteman Regional, Parker Charter, Mount Everett Regional, Smith Voc Tech, St. Joseph Prep, McCann Tech, Avon, Franklin County Tech, Westfield Technical Academy, Matignon, Upper Cape Cod Regional Voc Tech, Pioneer Valley Regional, Prospect Hill Academy Charter, Boston Collegiate Charter, Atlantis Charter, and Burke. I apologize if I said a bad word on air.
I don't think you did.
It was stupid.
I don't think it was.
Yeah.
I can moving right along.
Moving on along.
Okay, moving along. So, Monson defeats Lennox Memorial with a score of 7-1. Mount Greylock Regional defeating Hull with a score of 2-0. And Douglas beating Bromfield School with a score of 1-0 on the penalty kick. And Winsville Christian beating Drury with a score of 5-0. And Sutton beating Maynard with a score of 6-1. Gardner beating David Prouty with a score of 5-0. Honto Regional beating St. John Paul II with the score of 2-1. And Georgetown beating Quabog Regional with the score of 2-0. And into the round of 8, we have Tejado Regional beating Georgetown with a score of 2-1. And Sutton beating Gardner with a score of 2-1. And where am I? Monsoon beating Mount Greylock Regional with a score of 4-1. And Douglas loses to Whittinsville Christian with the score of 2-1. And in the final four, actually, we have Monsoon beating Whittinsville Christian with a score of 6-1, and Sutton beating Tohanto Regional with a score of 3-1. And in the state finals, Sutton takes home the championship against Monsoon with a score of 3-2.
Nice. All right, moving on to Division I boys soccer. Again, 41 teams qualified, all of us at WARA and 4Deep Sports Talk. Would like to congratulate the following 41 teams, and here they are. Needham, St. John's Prep, Ludlow, Arlington, Concord Carlisle, Framingham, Newton North, Shrewsbury, Franklin, your top 10. Moving right along, Newton North, Weymouth, Luckington, Marshfield, Chelmsford, Hingham, Attleboro, Central Catholic, Melford, Winchester. That's the top 20. Continuing on, Acton, Boxborough, Brockton, Belmont, Andover, Peabody Veterans, Leominster, Lowell, Boston College High School, Cambridge Ridge and Latin, North Andover, Brookline, Barnstable, Everett, Medford, Beverly, Dayton, Doherty Memorial, Durfee, New Bedford, Bishop Feion, South High Community, Springfield Central. In the Sweet 16, it fell like this. It was Needham over Attleboro 3-0, Newton South over Shrewsbury 2-1, Ludlow over Lexington 1-0. Weymouth over BC High 2-1 in overtime. More Sweet 16 action in an upset. Concord Carlisle beats Brockton 1-0. St. John's Prep beats Milford 1-0. Franklin over Leominster 2-0. And St. John's beats Central Catholic 3-2 in a penalty kick. That must have been one heck of a game. In the Elite Eight, St. John's, they beat Franklin 2-1. And St. John's Prep beats Concord Carlisle 2-1. Other elite action, Weymouth beats Ludlow in overtime 1-0. And, of course, Needham beats Newton South 1-0. That's pretty good. That's a Bay State matchup right there. So they definitely went out in the regular season. Final four, Needham over Weymouth. That's another Bay State matchup, 2-0. And then St. John's Prep beats St. John's 1-0. I think both those teams out of Danvers. And in your state championship game, congratulations to St. John's Prep. They beat Needham 2-0 for your 2022 Division I boys soccer state champions. Moving on to Division II. And here is Joe. And
So for Division II, for the boys soccer state tournament, we had Oliver Ames, Hopkinton, Bedford, Westboro, Holliston, Melrose, Wakefield Memorial, Escondimet Regional, Longmeadow, Wayland, Bellrica Memorial, Plymouth North, Milton, Canton, North Attleboro, Westwood, Walpole, Sharon, Neshoba Regional, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Nauset Regional, Somerville, Mansfield, Amherst Pelham Regional, Marlborough, Chicopee, Falmouth, Woburn Memorial, Silver Lake Regional, Shepherd Hill Regional, Reading Memorial, Northampton, Fitchburg, Somerset Berkeley, Chelsea, Marblehead, and Grafton. 38 teams. So for our round of 16, it was Oliver Ames defeating Walpole by a score of 4-0. It was Longmeadow defeating Masconomet by a score of 1-0. And it was Westboro defeating Milton by a score of 1-0. And Plymouth North were the victors over Holliston by a penalty kick 2-1. We had Hopkinton defeating Sharon by a score of 1-0 in overtime. It was Wayland defeating Marlborough by a score of 2-0. It was Bedford defeating Canton 2-0. And Melrose defeating Nauset by a score of 1-0. Down to the final 8. It was Bedford defeating Melrose by a score of 1-0. It was Plymouth North defeating Westboro 2-1. Oliver Ames defeated Longmeadow by a score of 3-2. And in a penalty kick game, Hopkinton were the victors over Wayland 3-2. For our final four, Oliver Ames defeated Plymouth North 2-0. And Hopkinton defeating Bedford 4-3. In your state final, champions Oliver Ames boys defeats Hopkinton by a score of 3-2. Congratulations, boys.
there you go. All right, moving on to Division III. And here she is, now running the board, live on TV and on your radio, is Catherine, a.k.a. KC.
Thank you, Dom. And here is the 38 teams that qualified for the Division III playoffs. So Pembroke, Dedham, Belchertown, Medway, Oakmont Regional, Medfield, Dover Sherborne, Norwell, Newburyport, Martha's Vineyard Regional, Hanover, Stoneham, Linfield, Gloucester, North Reading, Boston Latin Academy, Watertown, North Middlesex Regional, Norton, Wilmington, Saugus, Tantasco Regional, Greater Lowell Tech, Old Rochester Regional, East Bridgewater, Hudson, Greater New Bedford, Bishop Stang, Excel Academy Charter, East Boston, St. Mary's Lynn, Essex North Shore, Dighton Rehoboth, Auburn, Archbishop Williams, Diamond Regional Vocatech, Southeastern Regional Vocatech, and a High School of Commerce. HS.
I have no idea. I saw that too.
Yeah.
You see that, Joe? The last school on the last school.
HS of Commerce. I've never
I never heard of that before.
never
Yeah,
heard of it either.
But congratulations.
Yeah, for making this bracket. Congratulations.
Oh, sorry about that. As a spiker board.
Yep. All right. So we go into the round of 16, where Pembroke beating Boston Latin Academy with the score of 3-1, and Newburyport beats Norwell with the score of 2-1, and Linfield beating Medway with a score of 2-1, and Stoneham beating Bishop Stang 1-0.
Are we doing for a break?
Uh,
Finish up. I'm sorry. Finish up. Sorry.
All right, so we'll finish up round of 16 to the Division 3.
Finish it all up, kid.
North Reading loses to Dedham in overtime 1-0. Martha's Vineyard loses to Dover Sherborne in overtime 3-2. And Belchertown wins it over Norton 4-0. Hanover beats Greater New Bedford 4-0. And in the round of 8, we have Belchertown beating Hanover 3-2. Stoneham beating Linfield in overtime 4-3. And Newburyport beats Pembroke with a score of 2-1. And Dedham beating Dover Sherborne with a score of 1-0. And in the final four, we have Newburyport beating Stoneham 1-0. And Dedham beating Belchertown with a score of 2-1. And in the state finals, we have Newburyport taking the championship over Dedham 1-0.
Great job with that. We'll be right back with more right after this. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station. 1320 AM WARA and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. Rounding out the soccer, we're going to go into football. This is actually working out pretty good.
We have to go to Division 4 to boys soccer.
Correct. Yeah, that's what we talked. That's what we just said. Did I miss something again? Oh no. Okay.
It sounded like you said we were going to go straight to football.
No, we're going to continue on with football. Did I say that? Did I say that? I thought I said that. I don't know. But well, anyway, are we good?
Yeah, you.
I'm spiking a little bit?
You spiked a little.
See, that's why you're there and I'm here. All right, with that being said, 39 teams qualified for Division 4 soccer, boys soccer, and here they are. South Hadley, Pope Francis, Hampshire Regional, Rockland, Frontier Regional, Blackstone Valley, Vocational Regional Technical, East Hampton, Abington, Cohasset, Randolph, they top off the top 10. Wacona Regional, Lynn Votech, Monument Mountain, Northeast Metro Vocational Regional Tech, Littleton, Tech Boston Academy, Winstonville Christian, Hamilton Wentham, Advanced Math and Science. This is the first time I've heard of them in a couple of years. Ashobit Valley Vocational Regional Tech, Annenberg, that sounds like a German school. That's the 21st school. Shawshene Valley Tech, Burke, Nantucket, Bellingham, West Bridgewater, Ipswich, Manchester, Essex, Uxbridge, Bourne, Bay Path Regional Vocational Tech, Amesbury, Madison Park Vocational, Greater Lawrence Tech, Sturgis, Charter West. This sounds like a fancy metal you'd probably see in a superhero movie. Trinanium School, Monterey, New Mission, Tri-County Regional Technical High School. In the Sweet 16 in Division 4 boys soccer, it was. Make sure I get this right. And there I am. Now I'm set up. All right, so it was South Hadley over Tech Boston Academy, 3-1. Cohasset beats Abington in overtime, 3-2. Ashabet Valley Vocational Technical High School, they beat Rockland 4-2. Frontier Regional, they beat Lynn Votech 5-1. It was Blackstone Valley over Wacona Regional 6-0. Hampshire Regional, they beat Advanced Math and Science 2-0. Randolph beats East Hampton 3-1. Pope Francis beats Hamilton Wentham 2-0. In the Elite Eight, it was Randolph over Pope Francis 3-2. Also, Blackstone Valley in a penalty kick, they beat Hampshire Regional 2-1. Frontier Regional beats Ashabet Valley Regional Vocational Technical High School 5-1. South Hadley, they beat Cohasset 2-1. In the Final Four, South Hadley wins in overtime 2-1 to advance to the finals over Frontier Regional. Where am I? I'm right here. Why does that not look right? Oh, yeah. Blackstone Valley beats Randolph 3-1. And in your state championship game, Division 4 boys soccer, South Hadley, they win 5-2 over Blackstone Valley. Moving on to Division 5. And here is Big Joe.
All right, we have 48 teams total for this bracket in Division 5. We have Bromfield School, Sutton, Douglas, Gardner, Westport, Maynard, I've never heard of this one, Tohoto Regional, Mount Greylock, Keefe Tech, Millis, Cobourg Regional, Boston Tech, Taconic, KIPP Academy Lynn, Oxford, Georgetown, North High, Hopedale, Rockport, Brighton, Springfield International Charter, Westfield Tech, Holbrook, Smith Academy, Blue Hills RVT, Hull, Pioneer of Science, Granbury, Pathfinder RVT, Lenox Memorial, University Park Campus, St. Joseph Prep, Prospect Hill Academy Charter, Atlantis Charter, Hopkins Academy, Cape Cod RVT, McCann Tech, Ware, St. John Paul II, Minuteman Regional, Hoosac Valley, Neshoba Valley Tech, Excel, Franklin County Tech, South Shore Christian, South Shore Votech, Smith Votek, and Maddington. So, in our Sweet 16, we had Bromfield School defeating Georgetown by a score of 2-0, and it was Mount Greylock defeating Keefe Tech 7-1. It was Gardner defeating Taconic 3-1, and it was Westport defeating Boston International 1-0. And we have Sutton defeating Hopedale 7-0. We had Holbrook defeating St. John Paul II 1-0. It was Douglas defeating KIPP Academy 2-1 with a penalty kick. And in overtime, Maynard defeating Quabog Regional 3-2. In the final 8, it was Douglas defeating Maynard 2-1, and it was Sutton defeating Holbrook 2-0. On the other side, we had the Bromfield School defeating Mount Greylock 1-0, and we had Gardner defeating Westport 2-1. For our final 4, it was Bromfield School defeating Gardner 4-1, and in 2 overtime, we had Sutton defeating Douglas 1-0. And your state finals for Division 5 boys soccer, it was the Bromfield School defeating Sutton 3-0. Congratulations, boys.
And there we go. We have, I believe, one more division, or did that wrap it up?
That was Division 5. That was everything.
That actually wrapped it up.
And how are we doing for time for our break?
It's 1:32 right now.
All right, so we can lower the music. We can get everybody a little bit hyped up on what went down, or what's going down in high school. So all we got left is the best for last, I like to say, high school football. But before we go on, I just want to reiterate: Joe, Catherine Conley, aka KC, Luce is out sick. Hopefully she feels better. And of course the Sportsmaster. We want, and all of us at WARA 1320 and 4 Deep Sports Talk want to congratulate not just the state champions, but everybody who qualified. I mean, they got to make sure their grades are good, otherwise they can't play. Of course, they got to.
Absolutely.
Every sport's a team-oriented sport, and sometimes it's the bounce of the ball. But again, all of us here at 4 Deep Sports, again, WARA 1320, congratulations to everybody. Our goal is to try to get everybody, and the reason why I'm kind of dragging it on is because we're at the time right now, we're going to probably fly through high school football, right? So we'll wait. I'll just work that. We'll just work this into the break. And
It's actually 8 divisions in football.
Yeah, but there's only 16 teams, something like that, so we'll burn right through that. And
because we've covered most for Division 1, 2, 3, 1 through 8, so I think we could start. I think it probably the final 4 is my guess, or maybe final 8.
Yeah, and we could probably dive and say the whole thing, say all the brackets. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And we're going to dive in that right after this last break to wrap up our hour, and we're going to try to get this out to local access TV. I got to fix some of the Gmail accounts. I sent it out on Gmail. It seems like everyone's having a problem grabbing the link, and it's probably something I'm doing. And I apologize. I got to call Rochester to see if they're still getting our videos. Middleborough, making sure they're still getting it. I'm thinking of all these other towns, Sharon, towns like that, because they don't kind of acknowledge me via the email sometimes, and I don't check in, because now we're going to be probably going to. We're going to go with new sweaters coming up soon, and new shirts and polos, and I'm thinking actually going to break my manlyhood and swallow my pride and finally because my sister has breast cancer, and she's recovering from it, so I think I'm going to get her some pink shirts,
Oh, I'd like that.
I know you would. I know you would.
I don't know a lot of pink, so yeah, that'd be nice to have
right?
some.
That'd be cool.
My mom had breast cancer when I was little.
Right, and
Yeah.
she's a survivor from that, because you
Yes.
never know when it's going to come back, and I
Yeah.
really can't see my little sister, and it kind of bums me out. I mean, we're not super close, but we're close, like, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? We can relate to each other. I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah, I can definitely relate.
so, all right. With that being said, how we doing, kid?
It's 1:35 right now.
1:35 left before the break.
Well, there's no time on there.
Oh, we can go to break.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Did I say that before? I
Yeah,
thought I did.
I think you had said she said 1:32, meaning the actual time, not.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you.
Time was left.
Yeah,
that's what I thought you.
what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so now that I'm done mumbling, and what a bad day I'm having today, huh? Don't pay attention to me. All right, he's Joe. She is AKA Casey. I'm Dominic Damiano. We'll be back with more, and I'll wrap up this fall bracket wrap-up show right after this. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk and the news station. Joe, how do you pronounce your last name again?
Celia.
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 What a terrible teacher I am. Forgetting,
Very Italian.
Very Italian. Celia and a Damiano. And we got a Conley on the other side,
And
keeping
that's
us
Irish.
keeping us straight. So we're gonna wrap up. We hope you enjoyed the hour and a half. We're gonna try to wrap this up. We are gonna wrap it up. We're gonna do high school football. We'll start with Division 1. Catherine's gonna get the music fired up, and we're gonna burn right through the Sweet 16. I know. I want to give a shout out to Brady Kudo calling in. He takes care of, does all the great work over at Seekonk Speedway. He's been in the studio before. He called in early in this hour, mentioned about how Case High School did a great job and unfortunately fell short. I believe it was field hockey. Oh, I hope it was field.
Yeah, it was field hockey.
Field hockey, right? And again, here I go, mind lapse again. But anyway, here is the one, the myth, the legend, the girl behind the helm, making everything happen, a.k.a. Catherine Conley, KC, starting us off with Division One football results.
Okay, so the 16 teams actually qualified. So Franklin, Andover, Central Catholic, Springfield Central, Xaverian Brothers, Taunton, St. John's Prep, Methuen, Brockton, Attleboro, Everett, Wachusett Regional, Shrewsbury, Braintree, Lynn Classical, and Weymouth. So in the round of 16, Franklin beats Weymouth with a score of 36-6. Methuen beats Brockton 37-34. Springfield Central beats Shrewsbury 60-14. Xaverian Brothers beats Wachusett Regional 45-29. Andover beats Lynn Classical 42-6. St. John's Prep beats Attleboro 46-6. Central Catholic beats Braintree with a score of 46-14. Taunton beats Everett with the score of 30. Well, scratch that. Everett beats Taunton with a score of 33-14. And in the state quarterfinals, we have Methuen beating Franklin with a score of 28-25. Springfield Central beats Xaverian Brothers with a score of 56-22. And St. John's Prep beats Andover 48-14. And Central Catholic beats Everett with a score of 21-0. And in the Final Four, we have Springfield Central beating Methuen 54-14. And St. John's Prep beats Central Catholic with a score of 28-7. And in the state championship game, which is happening right now at Gillette Stadium, which is Springfield Central taking on at St. John's Prep. That game.
Good luck to both teams.
The game is happening now as we speak.
All right, moving on to Division 2. Again, 16 teams qualify. All of us at 4 Deep Sports and WARA 1320 would like to give a big congratulations to all these playoff teams. And with that being said, here is Division 2 qualifiers. Milford, King Philip Regional, Peabody Veteran, Catholic Memorial, Chelmsford Reading Memorial, Marshfield, Mansfield, Wellesley, Woburn Memorial, rounding out the top 10, Leominster, Hingham, Bridgewater, Raynham, Bishop Fien, Westford Academy, Concord, Carlisle. And this is how it played out. It was Milford over Concord, Carlisle, 42-13. Mansfield beats Wellesley 42-26. Catholic Memorial beats Bridgewater Raynham 41-14. Chelmsford over Hingham 30-19. It was King Philip over Westfield Academy 49-6. Marshfield over Woburn 48-20. Bishop Fien beats Peabody 49-28. Reading Memorial beats Leominster 51-44. State quarterfinals. It was King Philip over Marshfield 17-13, and Bishop Fien beats Reading Memorial 48-6. Other results. Medford over Mansfield 27-21. Catholic Memorial over Chelmsford 28-7. Then in this final four, it was Catholic Memorial upsetting Milford, the number 1, 41-7, and King Philip beating Bishop Fien 17-10. The game's tonight, ladies and gentlemen, 8 o'clock at Gillette Stadium. Catholic Memorial in King Philip. Moving on to Division 3.
All right, for Division 3 for the state football, we had Milton, North Attleboro, Plymouth South, Hanover, Walpole, Wakefield Memorial, Bellrica Memorial, Marblehead, Whitman-Hanson Regional, Westfield, Masconomet Regional, Somerset Berkeley, Westwood, Revere, Oliver Ames, and Minnechaug. How it rounded out, Milton defeating Minnechaug by a score of 46-21. Marblehead defeating Whitman-Hanson 35-0. Hanover defeating Westwood by a score of 42-7. And it was Walpole defeating Somerset Berkeley 42-14. It was North Attleboro crushing Oliver Ames by a score of 56-0. Bellrica Memorial defeating Westfield 42-14. Plymouth South defeating Revere 28-6. And Wakefield Memorial defeating Masconomet Regional 21-13. In the state quarterfinals, North Attleboro defeating Bellrica 34-6. Plymouth South defeating Wakefield Memorial 24-14. Milton defeating Marblehead 24-20. And Hanover defeating Walpole 40-37. And our final four, Milton defeating Hanover 32-30, and North Attleboro losing to Wakefield Memorial, who were the victors, 31-24.
Oh, darn.
And tonight we have Milton facing Wakefield Memorial tonight at 5:30 at Gillette Stadium. Good luck to both teams.
Excellent. Moving on to Division 4.
Yep.
All right, so we have the 16 teams in Division 4. Duxbury, Grafton, Bedford, Holliston, Scituate, Foxborough, Tewksbury Memorial, Middleborough, East Longmeadow, Marlborough, Pembroke, Northampton, Melrose, South High Community, Falmouth, and Newburyport. Duxbury beating Newburyport with a score of 50-10. Middleborough beating East Longmeadow with a score of 35-0. Holliston beating Melrose with a score of 25-14. Scituate beating Northampton 35-6. And moving on to the other side of round of 16, we have Grafton beating Falmouth 31-0. Marlborough beating Tewksbury with a score of 23-13. Bedford beating South High Community with a score of 36-6. And Foxborough beating Pembroke with a score of 24-21. And in the state quarterfinals, we have another call coming in.
We do have a call coming in.
Yep.
All right, let's take that call. Hi, next on 4 Deep Sports Talk. Did we finish up that bracket?
No.
No, you got to finish up that bracket. Hi, who's this?
Hey, man.
Hey, man, hold on. Let her finish up. All right, finish up that bracket. Play your music. Get it going.
Okay, where was I? Duxbury beating Middleborough with a score of 62-41. Holliston beating Scituate 35-25. Grafton beating Marlborough 31-14. And Foxborough beating Bedford 21-14. In the final four, we have Duxbury beating Holliston 42-14, and Grafton beating Foxborough 21-12. And in the state championship game, Duxbury wins the championship over Grafton with the score of 42-7.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And hi, you're next on 4 Deep Sports Talk.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
We are finishing up. We're at Division 5. We're trying to finish it up and make sure we get everybody noticed.
Excellent. Good. That's good. I was going to say, I found it very interesting that we're seeing alternative schools make it to Gillette Stadium. I mean, Shawsheen Tech is an example, and, and also Paulo Freire Academy, Paulo Freire Social Justice Charter School for volleyball enjoying immense success. Usually we just think of the regular public schools or the big money Catholic schools
Nope, the
as the ones
headset.
that have joined this making it to the top stage. But we're seeing some of these smaller schools, some of these alternative schools that give kids a different opportunity to get the education that's right for them. Seeing them succeed athletically, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
I think it is too. I love
Yeah.
I love it when he calls.
Yeah.
Even when he puts on his silly voices, he always makes sense. He just doesn't realize it. And of course, we're talking to Tom Joyce from the New Boston Post and the Quincy Sun. He promised us he was going to call in. He did call in, and Tom. That was a great point. What you noticed and what you already saw. Have you seen any of the games yet, Tommy? I know the Division II game ain't. I believe the big Division III game ain't till 8:00 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I've been live streaming a little bit here and there today. What's incredible is Duxbury, man. They haven't lost. They haven't lost a Patriot League football game since the late 2000s. They dominated Grafton at Gillette Stadium. I believe their quarterback threw for like 6 touchdowns or something crazy like that.
Unbelievable. I think we talked about that over pizza one night too. Remember?
Yeah.
Seriously.
They're impossible to beat.
They are.
But I do got to say, it's a shame. When I was in high school, Marshfield was in the Atlantic Coast League. We used to beat Duxbury, but that was before Marshfield was a Patriot League team. We could have ended that streak a very long time ago.
Good point. He's smiling as he's saying it too.
Yeah, because we beat them a year that we went to Gillette Stadium, and we beat them on a Thanksgiving Day game that nobody wanted to be at. Before we beat up on Longmeadow pretty bad, 45-6, 39-0 at halftime. But it really is an incredible experience for these kids at Gillette Stadium. I think a lot of people don't realize it, but this quite literally is the time at which most people on these teams are going to peak in life. Life's going to be completely downhill from playing in the state championship game. I can tell you from experience that's the way it's been for me. But they can enjoy it while it lasts. It's something people will remember for a long time.
Absolutely.
One word of advice is if you're long snapping and you know you're on TV and you know there's scouts there, don't try to look cool and snap the ball as hard as you can. You're going to screw it up.
Right, he's right. Do what Tommy did in the Super Bowl. Wait till they have 13 guys in the field and put the ball in play, and then you get a nice flag after that.
I did that in a playoff game against Mansfield in the first round.
See,
at Gillette, I did not have my best football game.
That's all right. That's all right. Well,
but I did stop block someone after a play ended.
Here we go. The truth comes out. Hey, thank you for the call, sir. We're just going to go into a break.
Absolutely. God bless. Take care.
Tom,
See you later.
Tom Joyce, New Boston Post, Quincy Sun will be back with more playoff results right after this. Hey, welcome back. Thank you, young lady. You're listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station 1320 AM WARA. We're rounding up the final coverage of fall sports here in 2022. We're going to Division 5 football, and here are the top 16. Hudson, North Reading, Maynard, Swansea Valley Tech, Old Rochester Regional, Bishop Fenwick, Oponnequet Regional, Dover Sherborne, Watertown, Triton Regional, Albin, Fairhaven, Worcester Tech, Bishop Stang, Dedham, and Swampscott. Because we're out of time, we're going to dive right into the quarterfinals. It was North Reading blanking Oponnequet 40-0. Bishop Fenwick beats Maynard 37-13. Dover Sherborne beats Hudson 20-7. Sheen Valley Tech beats Old Rochester 27-20. In the Final Four, it was Shawsheen Valley over Dover Sherborne 21-14. North Reading in overtime beats Bishop Fenwick 32-29. And your 2022 state champions Division 5 football with a 44-28 win over Shawsheen Valley Tech is North Reading. Moving on to Division 6. Just turn that down a little bit. No. Yep. And here's Joe.
So for Division 6, we had Stoneham, Rockland, St. Mary's, Winthrop, Blackstone Valley RVT, Linfield, Abington, Sandwich, Oakmont Regional, East Bridgewater, Bellingham, Arlington Catholic, Cardinal Spellman, Archbishop Williams, Seekonk, and Assabet Valley RVT. In the state quarterfinals, it was Stoneham defeating Oakmont Regional 50-23, and it was Cardinal Spellman defeating Blackstone Valley 14-13. It was Rockland defeating Abington 28-0, and St. Mary's defeating Linfield 22-6. In the Final Four, it was St. Mary's defeating Rockland 15-14, and Stoneham defeating Cardinal Spellman 24-17. Their Super Bowl will be tonight at Gillette this afternoon at 3 p.m. at Gillette Stadium, Stoneham versus St. Mary's. Good luck to both teams.
So now in the Division 7, we have West Boylston, Cohasset, St. Bernard's, Amesbury, Millbury, Uxbridge, Clinton, Wacona Regional, West Bridgewater, Ayers Shirley, Lunenburg, Northbridge, Boston Latin Academy, Mashpee, Drury, and Boston Academy. And in the state quarterfinals, we have West Boylston beating Wacona Regional 36-6. We have Amesbury beating Millbury 44-7. And we have Cohasset beating Clinton with a score of 27-14, and St. Bernard's beating Uxbridge with the score of 20-14. And in the Final Four, we have West Boylston beating Amesbury with a score of 33-20, and St. Bernard's beating Cohasset with a score of 32-19. And in the state championship, West Boylston wins the championship over St. Bernard's with the score of 29-6.
And that is their first Super Bowl win in their high school history. Moving on to Division 8, and it's like this. It was Hull's number 1, Lowell Catholic, Oxford, Manchester, Essex, Old Colony Regional Vocational Tech, Brighton, KIPP Academy of Lynn, Cathedral, Neshoba Valley Tech, Lee, Murdoch, Ware, Quantabog Regional, sorry about that, Catonic, Millis, Narragansett Regional. Going right into the quarterfinals, it was Hull blanking Cathedral 40-0. Old Colony Regional gets by Manchester Essex 22-20. Other quarterfinal matchup, it was Kep Academy over Lowell Catholic 21-12. Oxford over Murdoch 38-3. Final Four was Kep Academy over Oxford 34-33. What a great game. Hull beats up the South Shore, probably new South Shore rival, out of the Mayflower. They beat Old Colony 33-12. And that game is going on. We got to try to find a score. It went on at 10 o'clock, so that is over. I actually got a connection with Hull, so I'm hoping to get them in there. So that is your up to date. That was pretty good. We did that in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can do the quick cross
Yes.
country.
Let's go right into cross country, please.
So I was a cross country runner, just for our listeners. So it's like home to me. So I just want to give a congratulations for Division 1 for boys cross country. Brookline is your Division 1 champions. Division 2 champions, we had North Andover. For Division 3 champions, we had Marblehead. For the girls, Division 1, we also had Brookline. Division 2, we had Wellesley as your winners. And Division 3, we had Oliver Ames. For Division 4 boys, it was Burlington. In Division 5, it was Groton Dunstable Regional. And Division 6, it was Norwell. For Division 4 girls, it was Amherst Pelham Regional. In Division 5, it was Holliston. And Division 6, it was Whitensville Christian. So congratulations to the girls and boys of cross country.
So now it's official. Now we can say we covered all
Sports.
all the sports in the fall. I love to do this all the time. I really do. So with that being said, how we doing for time in the gray?
It's 1:58.
All right. So we'll play that music in the background, the fade, and we'll fire up the mic. So for Joe Cirillo, Celia, I can't believe I messed that up. It's all right because Damiano is sometimes pronounced Damiano. Don't ask me why. And Catherine Conley, a.k.a. KC, the sports master, will be back with us next week. Hopefully, Luz Cabral is feeling better. We're going to start to try to roll in these champions and maybe some of these runner-ups that's in our area that want to come on. Again, for those guys, I'm Dominic Damiano. We hope you enjoyed this hour of 4 Deep Sports Talk. Again, a big congrats to all those state champions, all those schools that qualified for their individual sports. We will catch you next time. Everyone have a fantastic weekend.